All right, welcome. My name is Matt Ramage. I've got Daniel Solomon and Tom Reynolds on. Why don't you guys say hi?
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, great to be here.
All right, awesome. Well, Tom and I have been working together for, I don't know, it feels like 20 years, but maybe it's the last 10 years, Tom?
Yeah, it's close to 20, Matt.
Close to 20. Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, today Tom has a site that he wants us to talk about, so we're going to review that site, and then we're going to also look at some competitors in the space as well in the same industry. And so yeah, let's jump right into it. Sites, and Daniel likes to be surprised, so I didn't tell Daniel ahead of time what the site was going to be. Um, so the site is Southwest Plastics.
Nice.
So Tom, why don't we'll go ahead and get started. Typically what we do is we just go through the sites and kind of look at things, that we don't like and things that we could change. So I know that you kind of have in mind this, obviously, just for people that are watching this, this site is relatively new, and it's built on the CMS called Workflow. And yeah, so Tom is taking over marketing, or is in charge of marketing at Southwest Plastics, and he's having us e-marketed. We're going to go ahead and make some changes to the websites, and so we thought, let's record this call since we're going to be doing this anyways. So Tom, let's start with maybe just the first, I guess, what do you want to change about this website?
Well, I think you have to stand back and say, what are we trying to achieve at this company? They're a plastics manufacturers that has just added the capabilities of doing CNC machining, so they can work with both metal and plastic. They've also just gone through a process to not only be ISO 9001, but also certified for doing government work, which is the AS 9100D. And so this gives them certification to do bigger jobs with larger clients who look for these kinds of certifications.
Oh,
so
great.
They currently, since about 2016, have seen their leads decline coming in off the website that were quality leads. And they're a really good shop. It's clean, it's well run, they're cost effective. It's American made, so if people want to onshore, they can get good quality parts. They're good for middle to high in runs. So bottom line is that when I first land on this website, my complaint is it's about them and not their clients. This big picture of the airplane, I don't even get why it's there. I mean, I realize they're specializing in aerospace, but I think that you don't really understand what they do. Injection molding, well, it's more than that now. It's a bigger story. Mm-hmm. So I think somehow we need to communicate the fact that they are a clean shop, that they have a full capabilities. And this is where video might be, something that we would work with eMarketed on to develop, a splash video to give people a feeling, a good positive feeling about what the company can do.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Yeah, good point, Tom. And I guess maybe we'll just kind of jump to some of the other inspiration sites too, because you mentioned video. I want to show you this one site that I found that has, let's see, shoot. So I don't quite know if this is probably not exactly the same thing, but this company does do some prototyping and looks like some plastic. But anyways, they've got a nice video on their homepage, kind of showing some of the different products that they do.
Some of that is scary looking.
Jimmy Gorgon there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a nice video. And I think they really like the video on Metrics Valve.
Yes. So, oh yeah, let's pull that up.
And the company I worked with to do this was really phenomenal, Matt.
Thank you. So yeah, so they're looking for something more like this, that kind of, somebody gets to the site and they can kind of get a quick glimpse of what the company does and what they're.
Yeah, because when you hear the word valve, You know, there's all kinds of water valves in this world that are in your house or in your garden. But the minute you land on this website, you realize that their valves are a little more complex, a little bigger. And so, you know, I really feel that it's as important to have people leave your website because of the wrong client as it is for them to send you a lead. That it should do a good job of qualifying a customer before they come. And again, I don't see how this website does that.
Got it. So I think, I mean, I guess one of the things I do like, I mean, I guess the people that are AS 9100D certified, they obviously know what that is, and they're looking for companies that are certified. So I mean, yeah, that doesn't need to take up such a big spot, but you know, maybe that could be somewhere up in the header.
Absolutely. I think it's very important that be up in the header. And I think also Made in America needs to be up there, frankly.
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Now with COVID, you know.
Yeah, I did see, you know, Made in the USA down here.
It's kind of hidden.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I see when I get to this page is how the spacing is off on the boxes. And as I kind of move the pages around, that the custom molding machining, which is the big headline on the homepage, right when you get to the top, is getting cut off at certain widths. Like as soon as I opened it up in my browser, I couldn't see all of the custom molding and machining headline there. So that was and it's like offset to the right. I think you'll notice that if you scroll down on mobile, like just both the AS 9100 and the custom molding is it's shifted to the right for some reason. So it's not a super clean centered.
Yeah, so here I sized it down, and you're right, it's on this iPhone 6, 7, and 8, it's showing things are kind of moved over to the right.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that even on on my desktop.
Okay, yeah, you know, I switched here, and yeah, I see the on mobile, our title's getting cut off at the top.
Yep. Yeah, and so not a great first impression. I mean, everybody's opening their web pages in different size browsers, and you just got to make sure that you know, your most important text at the very least is fully visible, and you know, for a certain unknown portion of visitors, that's not going to be the case on this site.
Right. Yep. Tom, I have a question for you. How many people are, I mean, do you have an idea of how many people are scheduling tours? Are people doing that, or are they requesting quotes, or?
Never happens.
Never happens. Okay.
And so I really question that as the primary call to action.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even see that. Where is the request a quote or schedule a tour?
Well, schedule a tour way up right
okay,
here.
the button. Yeah. I missed it. Yeah.
You know, I've always been a fan, whether it's right or wrong, of asking a question, because I think all sales processes start with a question. They don't start with asking for a quote. They don't start with a tour. There is something that they have a problem with. They want to ask you a question. Can you do it? Mm-hmm. And I think we should make that as easy as possible, which is why, again, this fabulous marketing team built a website for a client where it made it real easy for people to attach PDFs and Excel sheets and all the other things that might go into someone asking a question and say, here's what I want to do. How can you help me? You know, mm-hmm. It's making it as easy as possible for people to ask questions is important to me. And right at the top, you know?
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I guess navigation, it seems pretty standard. Services, industries, certifications, resources about, let's scroll down to the next section. Got these campaign boxes. Yeah, the formatting could be a little better. Tom, were you thinking that they would still have are these kind of the three main things, or?
Well, I think we need 3 campaign boxes. We're going to have to talk about what they should be. I think machine shop is the wrong word. I think it should be a, you know, CNC. You should use the jargon of the industry, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think we have to think about who are going to be the people that are going to want their services. Again, they've got a very nice client base, and they would like that client base to know they have new capabilities, right? or they added capability. So the fact that you can integrate plastic injection molding with machine shop, because often those parts are put together. So I'm not sure. Yes, we need a campaign box, but I'm not sure if these are the right ones, because I think we need to think about the people that are coming to this page. What are they looking for? So I like the campaign boxes as a concept. I'm not sure these are the right ones.
Okay. All right, we'll just scroll down. I do, I like these, the little pellets. I think it gives it kind of a nice design sense, but I mean, do you think that speaks to their client base, Tom?
Well, it does, because one of the things that they are known for is really understanding all the different kinds of plastics to make a part. So someone will say, I need a part, and we really want this particular material because it meets this spec. And they're capable of saying, that material, yes, but it's very expensive. One that is an alternative that is, more cost effective. So again, I like those, but it's like, why are they there? And I think the message should be something about, we're experts and can really help you engineer the right materials to make your product perform as spec and cost effectively, and that message is not, I mean, it doesn't even exist.
Yeah, and the thing that I don't get about this particular content block is like, what do the pellets have to do with quality assurance? I mean, I'm not clearly in this industry, but yeah, I see a pile of pellets there in quality assurance. I'm like, did somebody spill them or something? Like, what's the what is
to me,
relationship?
the message is more about their knowledge and the pellets represent different potential materials. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, you're right. It almost seems like it doesn't go with this quality assurance. I mean, I do like that they're hammering home the certification again.
I guess what I'm saying, I think, is that the website is very pretty. I'm just not sure it conveys the messages they need to convey.
Industries we serve. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I think this works. I mean, it speaks.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd even make it higher.
Higher up, but yeah.
They kind of say the same thing 3 times, and they don't. I mean, they should just say it once.
To me, the I'm just going from a design standpoint, the gradiated or gradient line icons are sort of coming out of nowhere. I'm not seeing any gradients in the design used up until this point, and we're like halfway down the homepage. And so either I'd like to see the gradient used somewhere else, like maybe the search icon in the header, but I don't know how great that would look there, or just stick with a solid color for those line icons in that section. That anyway, little design input.
No,
yeah, I think too. Yeah, it looks like also. I mean, there's some. It looks like sometimes I'm seeing a hover over effect, but not always. Maybe it's over the whole image. But they should also click through too. So if I wanted to look at automotive, I could do that, and I can't click these at all.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like the industries we serve page itself is just those icons again. So it's like, what's the point of that particular page if they're not going into more detail about what specific qualifications they have to serve that industry? It's just that the page that it clicks through to is basically just the icons again. So not a lot of value there currently.
Yep.
And just to put a fine point on that, is that when we work with a client, we jump into the financials and try to figure out what product or services are most profitable and what areas have the most growth potential. Well, right now, aerospace has got to be tanking. I mean, unless it's military, and even that probably is going to tank because of the way the budget's going. So it doesn't really emphasize those industries that might have the greatest growth opportunity and profitability for the company. So it's not thought out. To me, it's not thought out.
One of the things, and we've been reviewing these websites for a few weeks now, and one of the things that we've seen is that if a company serves the healthcare industry in some way, ones that are on top of it have already written content and are displaying it in a very nice way about how they are serving like the healthcare industry.
Absolutely.
And so that's, it's being like content creator and maintaining a live website. I feel like that's something, creating some content around that would be a good look.
Yep.
Absolutely. You're dead on.
Yep. And yeah, that's obviously going to help with search engine optimization, people typing in, healthcare, plastics, injection molding, whatever the search term would be, if we had, long pages of content for all these different industries. And obviously, like Tom said, let's focus on, maybe we don't need to write all 8 in the next couple months, but, let's focus on which 2 industries are the biggest right now and start with those and then work backwards. Real quick, while we're on this page, I see what they kind of tried to do with the logo over here, but at first I just saw these stars kind of in the, and it just looked, I was like, these almost look like old stars from like a Vegas sign or something from the 70s. And then I was like, oh wait, it's their logo that they, so yeah, I don't like this.
They tried.
They tried. Yeah. So yeah, let's go back to that page that we were on. Yeah, clients we've worked with, obviously super important. I feel like, as we go from this section to the next section, there's no kind of divider or, or even a different colored background. So that could be, we could either have a line or this being a different color. Yeah, I also feel like this title here is a little weak.
It is, and it's over to the side. It looks like another one of the logos. I mean, you don't even really.
Yeah, didn't even see it.
Yeah, you don't even see it.
Yep. Yeah, one of the examples I saw that we'll get into shortly, had the logos kind of, and Tom and I, we've done sites like this in the past with some of Tom's clients where we've had the logos kind of scroll across, and the scroll, it definitely brings movement to the website and catches your eye, and so yeah, we could have kind of logos moving across the screen. So yeah, our work, yeah, I mean, obviously this could be improved too. We don't, we just have some pictures.
It's funny how having a little bit of a frame around things helps, in terms of just visually, being able to look at it. I mean, I think they tried to break it up with the white versus the real, but I don't know. I find this not necessarily as engaging as it could be.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously people that are on the site, they're looking for these products. Maybe I have no idea what most of these things are, but I feel like on Hover, it wouldn't be too hard to have a name of what this is, and it could even be, aerospace plastic injection, and we could talk about the different industries on the.
Fabulous. I love that.
Yeah, on these rollovers. And
maybe
it's
a little description, of here's what.
Yeah, a little description.
Like a case study.
And yeah, this view gallery here, it's a little, let's see here what happens when you do that. So yeah, it's a little repetitive. I mean, it takes you to the same images. When you click on one of those images, it opens up the gallery. So probably don't need this button here. The button's kind of also, further down. It's almost like, I got to here and where's the gallery?
All right.
Yeah, there's not consistent spacing.
So yeah, probably I would take off that. Probably just remove this view gallery button.
Don't even need it, because once you click into a picture, you're in the gallery.
Yep. I like this block. Again, if I don't know if the the pelts are needed, but I feel like 3 generations of excellence since 1974.
Mm-hmm.
Nice picture, of the owners. Again, we've got the ISO qualified. So I think that's the 3rd time we've seen it so far on this on the homepage. But yeah, it's a nice picture, and you know, I feel like this speaks, you know, to
And I
their.
think it's appropriately located on the scroll.
Yes. Yep. We're in sunny Los Angeles, California. Schedule a tour. We've got the tour call to action again. So yeah, if they're not getting tours, probably, you know, change this to ask a question, and then add a field so somebody could type in the question.
Yeah, and I think I really like how clients can attach things, and I really would have a place where you could attach a PDF or an Excel sheet or a Word doc.
Yes. Yeah. And then yeah, I mean, you could say, you know, attach your specs here and we'll review it, or something like
Right,
that.
exactly. I'd rather see the call to action be, you know, send us your specs.
Mm-hmm.
You seen that strange white bar under that section?
Oh yeah.
Just some margins off there.
Do you think that these are all things that can be fixed within? I'm not a big template man, but do you think some of these problems are template driven?
Yes.
Yeah, and I have no idea how this site was built, but it's, you know, these are mostly CSS issues that if they were using some sort of builder to do this, then let's see.
Yeah, it's Webflow.
Yeah, so they're just settings within the blocks that they're pulling onto the page. So it's just not a tight you know, final product.
Yep. And lastly, yeah, as far as like footers go for websites, I like this. I mean, we've got the logo again. We've got the main navigation. I mean, the main navigation could possibly be a little bit smaller. We've got the call to action, as we've discussed. We could change that to ask a question. We've got the certifications and the BBB, and I mean, I feel like all of these, you know, lead to show that this is a, you know, legitimate company.
Yeah, and the only thing I would say is that I would love it if people would put an accessibility statement at the bottom.
Oh,
Simple, they're not expensive. It's a first step, you know, as long as if you're putting if you're filling in the alt tags and you have the accessibility, you know, you're at least making an effort, you know, to think about people who might have trouble accessing your website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like these social media logos also don't click to anywhere, so that I would either remove them or make sure that they open up appropriate channels.
Yep.
Yeah, and sometimes on depending on the industry, you'll see these like BBB certification, all those much higher on the page because they're part of the trust factor.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, occasionally you'll see them down in the footer, but where nobody ever sees them. But some companies want to highlight that you know, their legitimacy and that they're a trusted resource, and will include those a lot higher on the page, and you know, like a narrow bar or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it could
They
even
do have
then,
that. Yeah, they've got a couple there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they should all be there.
Yeah,
That
why
would make
not?
sense.
And
yeah.
yeah. All right, Tom, what do you think is the second most important page on the site?
Contact us.
Contact us. Okay, let's look at that.
Where is it? It's deep.
Oh, it's deep. So
First of all, it's hard to find.
it's very hard to find. So yeah, probably move that contact us. Just, I mean, they've got 5 main navigation. It would be easy just to add contact us to here. Tour again.
And again, I've said it 16 times, and I'll say it one more time. I'm sorry for my gardener. Is that I really think you need to be able to. I think people would, I think those fields are fine, but I really would have a way for them to send information, you know, attach information.
Yep. Yeah, and so we've last couple weeks too on the previous calls we've touched on the contact form on the previous two audits, and yeah, we've this, although only these two are required, or these three, there are a lot of fields here, and so we kind of came to the agreements on our last call that let's, if you're going to have a long form, that's fine, but I would also provide a short form as well. If somebody just wants to fill out a few fields,
Yep.
give them some options.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the things too, when you select something like Webflow to build your website, you may be limiting yourself with for things like this. Like, I want to include attachments on my forms. I know some kind of drag and drop website builders, that's not a feature that is a native part of those systems. So that's something to bear in mind, is that it might not be on here because it's a limitation of the system they selected.
Right. Good point.
So yeah, we're going to look at one more page, and then we'll look at some of the competitor sites, or not competitors, but just similar sites in the industry. Let's look at services injection molding. I imagine.
So I think the next most important area is, what their capabilities are. And again, what makes them unique is the compression, transfer, and the thermoset. Not that injection molding is what they do. A machine shop's the wrong word, but I think services is quite important.
So yeah, let's see if we can click on the main services. We've got capabilities. So yeah, this this box here is kind of just floats out here. I'd probably put some, change the color of this section possibly, or have some lines above and below.
Yeah, so they did what it looks like to me is that they did a full width section there, whereas a lot of the other sections are fixed width. And so in a drag and drop builder like this, you can specify, I want this section to have margins left and right, and I want the next section to be full width. And so yeah, on that one, it looks like the picture shifted left kind of in a strange way, but that's just I think what they did with the builder.
Got it.
Yeah. Where are we these days in SEO and text on a page? One of the complaints the client had with their early websites is it had a lot of content. It seems to be a reasonable amount of content.
Yeah, this is, I mean, obviously text is still super important. Let's click into another page to see kind of what we're looking at. But yeah, still very important. I mean, I would say the text count overall on this page is probably not even that much. I would probably say it's maybe 1,000 words, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
If that. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna find other pages that have more content will be showing up higher. But let's dive into maybe one like compression molding and see what they have. So yeah, I don't think, as far as like companies go, I don't think they need to worry about too much content. But yeah, you don't want to, only give it to the user, if they, if they're diving deeper and deeper into the sites. You don't want to scare them away with,
Well, and what about this text? I mean, what they're doing is they basically went to, it looks like to me, they went to Wikipedia and said, here's the history of compression molding. And to me, what you want to do is here are the best applications. If you've got these problems, this is why you might consider, compression thermoset, right? So to me, the content doesn't really do it.
Yeah, definitely, and I agree completely. I think somebody who's looking for compression thermoset molding, they don't need to know when it was developed. They just need to know, exactly how it can help their business. So yeah, this probably needs to be rewritten. I also found, I was looking at the site earlier today, this, like, we also offer, it almost looks like it's like, if we saw it like just like this, it looks like it's kind of missing stuff to the right of it. So I understand that this is for these 3 boxes here, but it's I don't know. I feel like that could be better formatted.
Absolutely. Even if it was a different size text, that would help.
Yeah. Let's look at one more page, injection molding here.
I like the materials there. They got the materials list that they. It's good.
Yeah. So what happens? Let's see. Let's click on G. So yeah, nothing in G. I would. That could probably. Let's see. B. You're right.
I'm just not sure that's functional. It's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute.
I mean, I guess if I'm looking for, and I've got, I don't even know what peak is, but I'm looking to.
It's alphabetical to begin with, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, maybe
so
just, I mean, this, it's not like this list is that huge where
right.
just have this list and don't have the finder, you know, here's
Right.
for materials we use. Yeah, because it's, you know, you click on one that doesn't have it, it's like, what happened? You know, it's just. So yeah, so here I already showed you the one site with the video. One thing I noticed with this site, I don't know if it's just because I can't, I've got the video screen, but it looks like I can't get rid of the cookies bar at the bottom here.
Interesting.
So that's problematic. Tom, with this one, I've got to request a free sample part. I wonder, does Southwest, is there anything that they could ship out for free, or does that make sense for them?
No, no.
Okay.
The problem they have is that everything is custom.
Okay.
So they do nothing that's not a client's. I mean, they would do that if someone asked. I mean, it's a good question, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. My gut says no.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to analyze this site completely, but one of the things that just kind of jumped out at me real quickly were these, you know, 2 campaign boxes, and then we've got this next box, and just how the formatting is like super tight. It's like, you know, pictures there. We've got a title, and you know, it just seems, this seems kind of more. It's just a more cohesive look.
Right.
Yeah. I think more time was spent designing this site for sure. Like the site we've been looking at, it looks like someone just kind of built it on the fly, and the Formlab site that we're looking at now looks like it actually went through a design process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I'm wild about how those campaign boxes are on the hero shot. I don't know why. And the video is very dark, and I don't find it. But I mean, the only thing that's engaging is that scary looking thing they're holding.
The teeth, yeah.
Demigorgon.
Yeah. The robot's cool, you know. I don't know. I'm not sure I get a feel for that company, except maybe they do weird stuff. I don't know.
All right. Well, Tom's not a fan.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just trying to kind of point out how I like I feel like the design is better on
Much better. And I like the fact that I like it when, if we're building websites that scroll like this, I like to have clear pages, you know, and things kind of set apart. And I think they do a nice job with that.
Yep. And yeah, look, we've got our logos here. We've got a little title above, and then we've got the logos below. I think this is a better way to.
Yeah.
And they're all in the same color too. I think with Southwest, they were all different colors, which isn't necessarily needed. It's kind of can be confusing to your eyes to kind of scroll down and then see all these like, whoa, like what's going on here? It's, I think, you know, having them all kind of the same colors, you know.
Really nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Then instead of focusing on the color, you focus on the name.
Yeah, the name, and it's like, you know, it's not like people are going to really be looking at this, but as we scroll, I mean, I just glanced over and I know all of these companies' names, and so right there, you know, I might not have heard of Formlabs, but I've heard of Google, so I'm a little more comfortable with dealing with this company because they've dealt with companies I know. Let's go to this next one. Wasn't completely happy with the site, but I did like this kind of this homepage screen. We've got the get a quote, you know, much better than the schedule a tour button at the top. You know, we've got a nice clear call to action with a nice picture in the background, which I could see this being, you know, the video. We've got the get a quote again. And then we've got this tagline too, the expert full service plastic manufacturing made in America. So that's something I know that's important to them.
Yep. I like it.
And then right underneath that, we've got kind of the different services they do. So, you know, I'm not 100% happy with this design, but I do like kind of what they're.
I like the idea, and I think it's a priority. So I like where it's placed.
Yeah, right off the, you know, you get to the homepage, scroll down a little bit, boom, it's like, this is everything they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, this content could be a little much to be expecting somebody to like land it on your homepage and, you know, read through all this content.
Yeah.
So it's possible this is done for SEO. We've got a lot of copy here. This is probably 1,500, 2,000 words.
Like, big complaint about most websites is that it's about the company and not the customer. And so I do get that same feeling there that they're kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like you rarely see a website
the company,
where
and
they're
not
highlighting
thinking about customer questions.
customer.
Yeah.
What was that, Daniel?
I feel like you rarely see a website where they're really showcasing their customers and how their customers have been able to do the awesome things that they do, you know, utilizing the company's services. You see that occasionally, but I feel like it's you don't see it enough.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and yeah, last, I guess, inspiration site that I found that was somewhat, I mean, this site came up in a Google search for plastic injection molding, I think. But yeah, I kind of like the big tagline here. We've got, obviously, the get a quote a couple times. Also got kind of a notice up at the top, which, you know, this can be good as well. We talked about it last week. We're going to have a notice at the top of the website. I like to be able to give the user an option to close it. But I pulled this site up for you, Tom, because it's got these campaign boxes.
It's such a,
What's that, Tom?
Did we lose Tom?
It looks like we might have.
Oh,
Tom.
hey, you know, hello, am I back?
Yes.
Okay. I think that websites are such a visual medium, and I'm a bit prejudiced, and have that photography be meaningful. And I think it's really, I love the fact that the hero shot, they made a face with their stuff. I mean, I think that's distinctive, you know. I think that, and then when you go down to the hero boxes, which are very well done, I like them a lot. That's nice photography that's consistent, you know, and with a background. So I think they've done a really nice job with their photography on this.
Yep, agreed. I like, you know, it's funny, Tom, I didn't notice that it was a face, and I looked at this website before our call. So yeah, it's funny that you caught it. I didn't, but I still liked it nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't know it's a face.
Yep. You know, I also like here, they've got 10 million parts made. I wonder if Metrics or Southwest Plastics, I wonder if they have an idea of how many parts they've made, and I think that's impressive.
yeah, I agree. I was thinking of that.
That's kind of a cool picture, you know.
Oh, hey, Tom, you've been cutting in and out here.
Sorry. Do you think that a counter saying and have the parts keep going up? You know how they do that is a bad idea?
You know, I don't know. I guess I'd be curious to know how many parts they've, yeah, I feel like, is that, I mean, do they average like, you know, certain amount of parts every day? I don't know. What do you think, Daniel?
Well, it'd be hard to keep it accurate. I mean, you could do something if you had the average, you know, if you had an idea of the average and just kind of keep them ticking up. So that could be interesting. But I think just the static, on this side at least, the static, 10 million plus parts made, lets you know this company has been churning out pieces for a while.
Mhm.
And yeah, and the thing that I like is parts as fast as 24 hours. So I was thinking about, when we were back looking at specific machinery and highlighting that, it would be interesting to see like what's the turnaround time? How fast can this thing, this particular machine, turn out parts? What are some statistics on this machine in our factory?
The big problem with turning out parts that quickly is that you have to have the mold. So if they're an existing client, they really can be within 24 hours. But if they're not an existing client,
Yep,
that would be a little tough.
makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, I like too, like Tom, you mentioned like in these boxes, I like that, these are obviously important for them. And then right underneath it, we've got see our full capabilities. So obviously they're only highlighting the, top 4. And you can click here, and this is, it's subtle, but it's definitely, I noticed it. And then our full, it looks like a guide. This page is a little confusing. We've got stuff on the left here, materials. So yeah, I don't know if that's like the best page to drive to, but we've got our logos again. Again, that could have been, hey, look, Daniel, there's Panavision. We've got our logos there. It could have all been in the same color. So yeah, let's wrap it up. Any final thoughts, Tom?
Well, I hope our sound is okay.
Yes.
I think that all these sites are great. I think that if you go back and look at some of the sites we've done for manufacturers, I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to be customer centric in the messaging and try to understand. I've always viewed websites as you've got the initiated and the uninitiated, and so for the uninitiated, you want to give them a full sales presentation. And then for the initiated, they want to get right to the information they need. And I sometimes feel.
Did we lose Tom again?
Yeah, I think so. Tom. All right. Well, we are having our first interview and first.
Like clients forget that happens very quickly. That you become initiated the minute you kind of get.
Oh man. Hey Tom. I wonder if I could pause. And, okay. Bottom line, Tom.
Bottom line is that I think it's critical that you always think like your customer and make it easy for them to get the information they need. Make it easy for them to get your best sales pitch and answer their questions, and then give them the flexibility to go back and forth from when they need sales. I think everybody, I've said it 6 times, is let's keep the customer in mind when we build these things. Let's not make it about us, right?
Yep, for sure. Tom, why don't you go have a quick plug for your company?
Hey, thank you. The Reynolds Group does marketing, which means we combine both sales process and marketing techniques to increase people's revenue. We have a financial model that jumps into people's finances, looks at what products are the most profitable and have the greatest opportunity, and we try to grow that business first so our customers see results right away from our marketing and sales efforts.
Awesome. And what's your website, Tom?
thereynoldsgroupweb.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Tom. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom, and we will definitely have you on future episodes.
Thank you, and it's always a pleasure working with both you guys. You're real professionals.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
All right.